Alright, so I'm going to read this verbatim. I'm sorry that I didn't know this was going to drop today. So I'm sorry I'm reading this from my phone. But here we go. Destiny 2021 Update. The Road to Witch Queen. Hey Guardians, as some of you know, I didn't work on Destiny before it shipped in 2014. I started out as a Guardian. I got hooked on running Vault of Glass trying to get my truth drop in a Nightfall, and yes, sometimes trolling my fire team with inopportune Ward of Dawn placements. After playing for just a few short weeks, I knew I wanted to do whatever it took to work on the game. Destiny changed my life. Back then, I knew Bungie had just begun the journey of what Destiny could be, and what it could mean to so many Guardians like me. When I walked through the doors of Bungie for the first time, the Dark Below had just shipped and the team already had their eyes out, outlining ambitious plans for the future. It was clear that everyone at Bungie loved Destiny fiercely and believed in its future as much as I did. Flash forward to today. Season of the Chosen has launched, and it's incredible to see how far the game has come. Right now my Guardian is crushing battlegrounds, perfecting a new build for Master Lost sectors, gilding titles, progressing seasonal challenges, working on catalysts for some of the most unique exotic weapons we've ever added to the game, and experiencing more seasonal narrative progression in Destiny than ever before. It's humbling to think how much of these systems and this content didn't exist 2 years ago, last year, or even last month. Though going to work these days includes video calls, guest pets, and kids, what continues to humble and motivate me since my first day is how the team still looks at Destiny with fresh eyes every day. We see possibility in Destiny at all levels on the team, and working on this game has become life-changing for many of us. This friendship maker and sometimes temporary friendship breaker, this catalyst to make memories, this universe that we all love, we're lucky to be here and share these moments with you. Destiny has so much to offer to so many different types of players, and even more than that, it means something different to each player. It's complex, intricate, and demanding, and that makes it an awesome challenge to work on. As massive as Destiny is, we believe there is so much more potential to unlock in this amazing game. Stories to finish and new stories to come, and that'll keep driving us to make it better every week, every season, every year. The Witch Queen, Lightfall, and Beyond. Last summer, we outlined our ambition for the next era in Destiny 2 by announcing the full arc, starting with Beyond Light, followed by the Witch Queen and Lightfall. As we began to scale production on the Witch Queen last year, we made the difficult, important decision to move its release to early 2022. We also realized we needed to add an additional unannounced chapter after Lightfall to fully complete the first saga of Destiny. Okay, so there's going to be more. We've long thought about moving Destiny's annual release to the early half of the year, primarily for the health of the team, but the Witch Queen and not being tied to legacy expectations allowed us to make this choice early for 3 important reasons. The Witch Queen represents an important evolution in the ongoing story of Destiny 2. Beyond Light built the foundation and allowed us to weave the world building of Destiny and Destiny 2 together, but the Witch Queen will light the fire on a strongly interconnected narrative across Lightfall and beyond. Unlike anything we've ever attempted before, with characters, arcs, heroes, and villains that persist over multiple future releases. Even more importantly, the conclusion of these releases will also conclude the Light and Darkness saga, the conflict we first introduced with the launch of Destiny many years ago. As we've been developing the Witch Queen, we realized that we needed this release to be the first of many moments crucial to the story of Destiny. With so much leading to and dependent on what happens in the Witch Queen, we wanted to make sure that we gave ourselves enough time to build out this journey in the right way, starting with an exceptional first chapter in the Witch Queen. With Destiny now committed to being an everlasting, evolving world, we want to make sure we are still taking the time to upgrade the systemic foundation of Destiny 2 to support everything we want to do in the future. Our ultimate vision for Destiny 2 still stands. A definitive action MMO, a unified global community where we can play Destiny anywhere with your friends. For 2021, this means upgrading our approach to keeping Destiny's weapon and armor game fresh, refining our vision for PvP, implementing transmog, and adding crossplay more below. Finally, and the most important reason, we are proud to be uncompromising when it comes to our commitment to the health of our teams. With COVID-19 keeping us away from the office and the large amount of work on our plates, we needed to move the date in order to make sure that both this year's updates and the Witch Queen were both delivered at the quality we strive for, and on a schedule that made sense for everyone involved. Making this choice is not one we took lightly. Believe me, as someone close to Witch Queen's progress, there is no one more than us that wants to get it out as soon as it's ready. But at the end of the day, we know we're making this call for the Witch Queen and future chapters in Destiny 2 for all the right reasons. Ones that put our team first and our game at the quality bar we strive for ourselves. We'll have more to share on the Witch Queen and beyond in late summer of this year. But today we need to talk about what's happening in 2021. So let's get to it. Rewards that matter. With Season 11, we introduced Infusion Caps, an iteration on Infusion design to keep Destiny's gear game fresh from the release to release, and to create a healthy ecosystem for our aspirational content. While we still believe in these goals, it's clear our execution was off the mark. Infusion Caps helped us meaningfully shift the meta in Beyond Light and create a rewards ecosystem that was manageable to balance and monitor, but the system has also made our rewards feel like they have an expiration date and have frequently made playing our legacy content feel shallow. We want the rewards you've earned in Beyond Light and its subsequent seasons to feel like valuable tools you can use in the incredible challenges you'll face in the Witch Queen, so we're making a change. We've made the decision that any weapon or armor that can currently be infused to max power will continue to be able to reach max power permanently. Okay. Starting in Season 14, we won't be capping the infusion of any weapons or armor that have not already reached the cap as of start of Season 13. This means you'll be able to take your trusty Falling Guillotine and all the high-stat armor you've earned this year to take on to the raid in the Witch Queen. While we still strongly believe that Destiny needs a method to shift our meta in the game's most challenging activities, we don't believe that infusion caps are the right answer. We're taking time this year to research and validate a plan that creates a fresh and balanceable ecosystem for most aspirational content, one that doesn't make our rewards feel like they have an expiration date. We've learned a lot this year and don't want to rush finding the best plan, so don't expect to hear anything more about this until after the Witch Queen. Because we won't be capping any more of our weapons, we must consider more variables in game balance of our upcoming seasons and releases, so expect to see some tuning when it comes to our biggest outliers in PvP and PvE. Yes, I'm looking at you, Fellwinters and Warmind Cells. This is a big change for Destiny, and one that we did not make lightly. However, we believe there's nothing more important in Destiny than getting our rewards right. Power play. Now that we've talked about rewards, let's talk about power. Last year we started a paradigm where we raised the overall power cap by 50 each season. While this helped ensure that the infusion caps shifted the meta, it also made each season feel like a significant reset to the power you had accumulated. To combat this, we will be experimenting with a new power level cap. Starting in Season 14, we will only be raising the power cap by 10 for each non-expansion season. That means that if you reach the maximum power in Season 13, when next season rolls around, you will be directly in the 10-point pinnacle band of the Power Pursuit. This power increase should feel familiar to anyone who played Season of Dawn last year, and we're excited to see how this progression feels alongside our new systems. We believe this change will make it easier to pick up and enjoy Destiny each season, while still allowing us to have a deep RPG power pursuit when we launch the Witch Queen. Angels of Death. Like many of you, I'm passionate about PvP and Destiny 2, and it's clear that we haven't had a consistent message around these modes, so I'd like to share our high-level vision for the Crucible. Direct player versus player competition is essential in Destiny as an option to express mastery of your Guardian and showcase the strength of your arsenal against other players. It's a simple vision, but it's one that's crucial to making the game feel like a real place for those players that crave that showcase, where the rewards you've earned and the skill you've demonstrated and how you've built your Guardian all matter. So let's talk about what we're doing this year for PvP, starting with our two priorities: improving gameplay sandbox balance in the Crucible and upgrading the experiences of our most aspirational game modes. When it comes to balance updates, these can be divided into three major buckets. First, in Season 15, we will be addressing 3-peaking in Trials and Competitive. In these modes, emotes will be disabled and players will be unable to pull out any third-person weapon that doesn't have ammo. Third-person experiences are part of what make Destiny's gameplay feel so good, but it's clear in our most competitive arenas that these mechanics were being used in ways we did not intend. This is a tricky problem to solve in Destiny's complicated sandbox, but we think this is a good starting point. Second, over the next several seasons, we will be making changes to Stasis and Light subclasses in order to achieve a healthier balance of subclasses in the Crucible. Across Season 13 and 14, we will be adjusting Stasis in the Crucible in order to bring its overall effectiveness in line with our Light subclasses. Here are some of the changes you can expect to updates this season and next. Behemoth Titan. Decrease super damage reduction. Increase super energy costs when performing light attacks. Remove freeze AoE on Supercast. Reduced traveling efficacy of Shiver Strike when slowed. Revenant Hunter. Decrease Withering Blade damage and tracking. Decrease slow stacks applied to targets. Remove Shatter Dive damage reduction. Shadebinder Warlock. Fix bug where Ice Flare bolts would track towards targets immediately on creation. Fix bug where Shadebinder super projectiles were not tracking until a certain distance traveled. General. Decrease Crystal Shatter damage. For Season 15, we are also looking at universal adjustments to stasis by increasing damage reduction when frozen to produce more survivability for the victim. Following this stasis tuning in Season 15, we will also focus on light subclasses and release a set of targeted buffs to our most underutilized specializations. The goal of all of these changes is to keep stasis feeling great in PvE and to bring its representation in PvP more in line with our light-based abilities. Finally, we want to continue to adjust weapon archetype performance and introduce new perks that shift the meta in the Crucible. I think the team has done a great job in this area over the last several months, introducing balanced changes both as seasonal boundaries and at the mid-season, and we want to continue to drive down this path to diversity, the types of loadouts you encounter from season to season. In addition, at Season 15 we will also be looking to adjust overall ability usage rates to make sure guns and gunplay are always key to success in the Crucible. Of course, gameplay balance only matters when the underlying playing field is fair, and unfortunately, cheating continues to be a significant issue, especially on PC. While we're always working to maintain our security as new exploits emerge, as always, we don't want to talk about a lot of those improvements for fear of empowering the bad guys. A few areas we can talk about, however, are the following. We're aiming to nearly double the size of the Bungie Games security team this year, reflecting our long-term commitment to fair play. We've begun regular surveys to better understand your experiences with cheating and to measure our progress. This new data enriches our existing streams from player reports and game instrumentation. If you receive one of these surveys, please share your experiences to help us fight cheating. We've begun a strategy of aggressive legal action against cheating developers. You may have seen news articles about some of our early actions here, and we will continue to pursue those who undermine fair play using every tool at our disposal, both in partnerships with other studios and under our own flag. We'll share more security news when we can. Beyond gameplay balance and security, we also want to adjust the structures of our most aspirational PvP modes in order to make them a better experience for our players. First up, we're targeting an overhaul to the Trials of Osiris reward structure and matchmaking paradigms to release before the end of this year. With the update, we specifically want to target a few things. Improve the overall health of Trials matchmaking pool by both incentivizing a wider audience to engage and better defining separation of skill tiers. 2. Rebuild the Trials reward structure so that it encourages more players to stick to their active cards longer. Our current structure encourages a lot of recycling cards after a single loss, meaning the first games of your Trials card has a high chance of being incredibly challenging. We want to build a reward structure that continually pushes higher skilled players to want to progress deeper into their card even after a loss, making 3 to 5 wins a more achievable goal for more players. And 3. Investigate opportunities for solo players to participate in Trials regularly. We believe this will not only make the matchmaking pools healthier, but will also encourage more players to see what Trials is all about and hopefully form social connections with other PvP-loving Guardians. After Trials, we will be targeting a similar in scope refresh to Iron Banner. While there's a lot to do when it comes to supporting the Crucible, we want to target our efforts around global PvP balance and our most aspirational modes first. Praedyth's Revenge. In Season 14, the Vault of Glass will return. Yes! Vault of Glass next season. Confirmed! The team will have a lot more to say about that before launch, but there are a few things I'd like to clarify now. Our philosophy behind bringing things out of the Destiny content vault is to keep them feeling like the content you remember while updating them to meet Destiny 2 difficulty and raid standards. So while the high-level experience remains the same, you should expect the raid team to have a few tricks up their sleeves when you tackle the depths of Venus this summer. Vault of Glass will also launch with both a contest mode in the first 24 hours and a World First race. Since there is a reprised raid, we're going to do World First a bit different. Players looking to claim the belt will not only have to complete the raid, but also a curated list of challenging triumphs. And while only one fire team will walk away with a belt, there will be plenty of opportunities for players to earn the ability to purchase some sweet real-world loot through Bungie rewards. One last thing before the end of the year, we are also looking to add a Master version of Vault of Glass. We've been really excited about how Master and Grandmaster difficulty have altered Nightfall strikes, increasing the potency of combat and the importance of executing mechanics. We'd like all our future raid and dungeon content to offer master difficulty versions, where players can earn adept raid and dungeon gear, and while we aren't able to commit to a Season 14 timeframe for Master Vogue, we do want to take time to develop a sustainable structure that allows us to ship closer together in future releases. Getting reacquainted with Adelaide. In Season 14, Ada 1 is returning to the tower, and with her comes the ability for players to take any armor they have in their collections and turn it into a universal ornament in Destiny. In Destiny 2, we call this transmog system Armor Synthesis. Every season, Ada will offer players a set of bounties that highlight various activity types. Players can complete these quests and receive the materials they need to power up Ada's Loom, which can turn any piece of armor in your collection into a permanent, universal ornament. Players short on time will also be able to purchase synthesis tokens for silver. Once you've acquired some new universal ornaments, you will want to head over to the new appearance screen in the character menu, where you can manage the ornaments on all your gear in one place. You'll also find that you can apply shaders here individually or on all pieces of your equipped gear with one click. To make it even easier to try out a bunch of new looks in Season 14, we've also changed shaders to be permanent unlocks, meaning you will no longer need to hold on to stacks of shaders in your inventory. Fucking yes! At the beginning of Season 14, we'll be including a starter supply of synthesis materials as a reward for completing the seasonal onboarding quest. We know many of you have been looking forward to synthesis for a long time, and we want to front-load your ability to create some of the looks you've been looking forward to, showing off. Fucking awesome. Combined Fire. Well, we've still got a few quick things to cover, but I wanted to make sure we didn't end without taking the time to recognize how incredible the team here is at Bungie. It's enormously difficult to make a game like this from home, but the team comes at it every day, unmatched enthusiasm and talent. One of the reasons why is that our teams are full of guardians, conquerors, lighthouse frequent flyers, lore masters, and people that just love to get in a strike or two with their family. All the work they do is because they believe that Destiny 2 can be the definitive action MMO on consoles and PC for years to come. So without spoiling our plans for Witch Queen and beyond, let's talk about a few more things the team is working on this year. Crossplay is coming to the masses in Season 15. Confirmed, Season 15 crossplay. We'll be doing some internal rollouts and alpha tests in September, in Season 14. So next season they're going to do some internal rollouts and alpha testing to prepare for a widespread launch this fall. With crossplay, you'll be able to play with all of your friends no matter what platform you call home. And don't worry, we won't be matching console and PC players together in the Crucible unless PC players specifically invite their console friends to play with them in the PC Crucible pools. Some of you have noticed that Ikora Rey has not been nearly as present recently in Destiny 2. We've missed her as well. Not only will you see Ikora again in Season 14, she will be playing a pivotal role in the Witch Queen. In Beyond Light, we introduced Stasis subclasses. Like Solar, Arc, and Void, Stasis will continue to evolve into a fully supported damage type. In Season 15, we will introduce our first round of legendary Stasis energy and power weapons. Yes! Fucking awesome! There will be a lot more in here as we get closer to the fall. More recently, in Season 13, we rolled out Phase 1 of our new gilded title system, where players can gild our ritual titles like Conqueror, Unbroken, Dredgen, and Flawless each season. In Season 14, Phase 2 of gilding titles will roll out. When players gild a title, it will now also display how many times that title has been gilded in the past. That's cool. I can't overstate how excited I am for what the team has planned for this year and beyond. What we're doing this year is about multiplying our potential for years to come, and while I promise not to spoil any of the things we will reveal for the Witch Queen later this year, I feel like we owe you a little treat for sticking with me for all of this text. So here's an early concept of one of the wild armor sets you'll be able to earn in our next annual release. So, I don't know what... No, you guys can't see this, but it looks fucking weird. Like, it looks really weird. Like, the Titan looks like a robot, almost. Holy crap, that is... You want to talk about a hell of an information dump. Good lord. Holy shit. Okay. Okay, so my thought process on what we all just read is, so transmog is going to require us to do bounties and stuff for Ada 1, which, you know what, I'm okay with. They're going to front load us some materials, which I'm also okay with. I think the thing that makes me excited is I knew that Lightfall wasn't going to be the end. Like, I absolutely knew that Lightfall wasn't going to be the end of Destiny. But their whole light versus dark saga being done, I think what that means, ultimately, is that I think at the end of Lightfall, I have a feeling that, like, we're not going to necessarily win. Maybe? Like, we'll end up finding a balance of using light powers and dark powers, and then we'll be able to continue and explore the Sol system, I think, is what will end up happening, or maybe beyond our solar system. I do like the fact that PvP seems like they are going to have a renewed focus on it. You see, I knew... See, I've had this theory that... Because last year, they talked about how, like, they cannot feasibly update every aspect in the game every season. And they've been focusing on PvE a lot, because for a long time, PvE was the one that felt neglected and not PvP. And I'm hoping with their expansion and their teams, what they've talked about here, that everything is going to be on a healthy road. If they're going to rebuild Trials, like, I really, honestly, I hope they go with the idea that if you've gone flawless that weekend, and you still want to play, you can only play against other people who've gone flawless. The idea of a solo queue in Iron Banner, to me, is incredibly interesting. Not Iron Banner, in Trials.
Use everything in your
I mean,
Fight
it would probably be okay. Maybe. You wouldn't have carries, that's for sure. You might have more recovs, though.
Zone C captured. Opponents claim Zone A.
I don't know,
You captured Zone B.
I'm excited. I'm incredibly excited. But at the same time, like, they're, like, I don't know, apprehensive is the wrong word. But I'm excited. Let's just leave it at that. I'm incredibly excited. Is he literally just going to stand there the whole match? Honestly, also depending on how much,
Zone A captured.
Depending on how much those, what you call it, the, Ada 1 bounties will be for getting the synthesis tokens.
Zone B lost. That shut them down.
Depending on how expensive those are for silver, I may end up just buying a shit ton of them for silver. Because I want every piece of armor that I have to be the ability to do
You're being hunted. Don't let your guard down.
The ability to be a universal armor ornament. And that's one of the few things that I would spend an absolute shit ton of money to do. And you know, I have a feeling that Bungie's probably aiming for people like me to do that. And you know what? That's okay. Like, if they want to get a shit ton of money out of people, like, that's a good way to do it. And I am hella excited about it.
Zone C captured.
But I think the other thing to consider with all of it
Zone A.
is that... Ah! Die! Damn it! Should not have lived through that, but I'll take it.
Captured Zone B. You have the advantage. Press on. Good counter. Now
I will take that.
I'm calling it. 10 seconds.
Yeah, no, I
You've
definitely,
lost today, Guardian.
like, I think that we are in for a treat.
The Iron
I
Banner
really do.
remembers every outcome.
And I
This
think
will be
with
no
Witch Queen being
exception.
delayed a little bit, like, that's fine. I mean, especially, they're delaying it now when it's so far out that I feel like... I don't know, I feel like they need to... Not they need to. I feel like with how far out they're announcing that delay, that Season 15, which I believe is the one right prior to Witch Queen, they're probably going to have more stuff in it, a little bit more in it, to feed us over. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how high we can all get our stuff. The leveling. Let's talk about the leveling for a second. The starting, I think it said starting next season?